Bubble sort. In bubble sort, we sort the elements in a given array either in ascending order or descending order by comparing two adjacent elements at a time and placing them in correct position. That is, if we have an array which is not sorted, and if we want to sort the element, we'll compare the adjacent elements and keep them according to their positions. In an array, if we have n elements, then it requires n minus 1 passes to sort the array. This is the flowchart for bubble sort. So when we start, there will be an input array. Say it may be of size n. So the array is taken as input, and there is an iterating variable I. So we'll check if I greater than or equal to 0 and I less than n. So we are checking if I is greater than or equal to 0. So I may start from 0 and n till n till n minus 1, that is I less than n. So 0 to n minus 1, this will continue. And if this condition is true, there is a variable called swap. This variable is set to false. Basically, this variable is used to avoid some redundancy. Like if we are already giving a sorted array as input, we need not sort it again. So this variable will say if it is already sorted or not. For that, we are using this swap. So swap is set as false. And after setting it as false, we come to this condition. Before this condition, we need to check if this condition is true or not. That is, if j is less than n or not. J is less than n means it should begin from the first element and should go up to the last, that is last index, from first index to last index, that is j less than n. So basically here I is the iterating variable is counting the number of passes. So we already said in the previous slide that I should if there are n number of elements, there must be n minus 1 passes. So this I is counting the number of passes, and here j is counting the index of the array, that is from first element. It starts from first element and it go till the last element. So if it is checking if j is less than n, so it should go up to n minus 1, that is all up to the end of the array. So if this condition is true, then it is checking another condition. If both these conditions are true, it checks one more condition, that is a of j minus 1 less than a of j. This is nothing but it is comparing the first element and the second element. If we are taking an array, if we are starting from the first element and it is comparing the first element with the second elements, that is a of j minus 1 greater than a of j. It is checking if first element is greater than the second element. That is, if here the j is starting from, like if we are considering j is equal to I plus 1. If I is first set as 0, then j is I plus 1. So I plus 1 means the first element, that is a of j minus 1 means it will be the first index, that is 0th index, and a of j means it will be a of 1, that is the second element. So it compares if the first element is greater than the second element, then swap is set as true. That means we need to do some swapping here. So the swap operation is done here, that is swap a of j and a of j minus 1. That is, we are swapping the first element and the second element. We are just swapping them. We are making the greater element to go towards the right, that is towards the end of the array, and smaller element towards the left side of the array, like it towards the starting of the array. We are actually arranging it arranging them in the ascending order. So we are swapping the elements, making the greater one go towards right, and after swapping we'll go to we'll again check this condition. This condition will be checked until the greatest element in the array go to the rightmost position, that is towards the end of the array. Until that the first pass will continue, and if it is over, this condition will be false, that is it reaches the end of the array, so it will become false and this I will be incremented. So the next pass will happen in this same manner. And finally, if the array is completely sorted, it will end. That is if finally the swap will be false, because initially we set swap as false, and at the end we'll get swap as false. If it is true, we'll get the sorted array and we'll end the program. Now we'll see an example of bubble sort. This is a simple example which have an array of 6 elements which is not sorted. So by using bubble sort, we are going to sort this array. So first, taking the first starting with the first pass, we are comparing the first element with the second element. That is, we are checking if 5 is greater than 1. So 5 is greater than 1, it is true, so we need to swap, that is we need to interchange. So we interchanged 5 and 1. We are interchanging 5 and 1. 1 will move here, 5 will move here. And in the next step, we are checking if 5 is less than 6. 5 is less than 6, that is true. Actually, we are checking 5 is greater than 6, which is not true. So we need not swap. It is kept as it is. 5 in this place and 6 in this place. And we are moving to the next adjacent elements, that is 6 and 2. We are checking if 6 is greater than 2. 6 is greater than 2 is true, so we need to interchange. That is 2 will move here and 6 will move here. And in the next iteration, we are checking 6 and 4. We are checking if 6 is greater than 4. 6 is greater than 4 is true, so we need to interchange 6 and 4. And then in the next iteration, we are checking if 6 is greater than 3. 6 is greater than 3 is true, so we need to interchange. So finally what we got is that we got 6 at the end of the array. That is, the greatest element came to the end of the array. So this shows only the first iteration in this sorting. Similarly, we need to do all the other iterations. See, in the second iteration, we'll be starting with these 1 and 5, and it will be compared. And again here you see 5 and 2. 5 is greater than 2, so this should be interchanged. So 5 will be interchanged with 2. Like that, in upcoming iterations, it will progress correctly, like it will sort the array exactly. So next iteration, 5 will be coming towards the end. After that, in the upcoming iteration, the 4 will be coming to its position, then 3 will be coming to its position, then 2 will be coming to its position, and finally it will be sorted array. So this is how this bubble sort is performed.